My greedy husband blocked my path as soon as I returned home from my father's funeral. "Sign these papers now," he demanded, "because, starting today, I own the $150 million company you inherited." I refused right away, and his face flushed with anger. He grabbed my wrists and tied my hands with a rope. Then he took a razor and shaved my head. Even that didn't satisfy him. Then he lifted a bucket of icy water and poured it over me. I started shivering from the cold. "Hello, my name is Lily Thompson. I'm 32 years old, and I've spent my life working to uphold the legacy of Harbor Pharmaceuticals, the $150 million company my father built from the ground up. Today, though, everything changed. The man I thought I could trust, my husband, has shown his true colors in the most ruthless way imaginable." As I took a shaky breath, Ethan stepped closer, thrusting the papers into my hand. "Sign these," he demanded, his tone as cold as his gaze. I looked down, my fingers trembling as I realized these were transfer documents. My heart pounded with a mixture of grief and horror. Ethan wanted me to sign Harbor Pharmaceuticals over to him. "Ethan," I whispered, my voice barely above a quiver, "this is my father's legacy. I can't believe you would even ask me to do this, especially today." His jaw tightened, and a flash of something sinister crossed his face. "Your father's legacy," he sneered. "You're too emotional, Lily. You don't know how to handle a business like Harbor Pharmaceuticals. I'm doing you a favor." His voice held no compassion, no empathy, only greed. The nerve of him. My father had always believed in me, preparing me to carry on his work, and here was Ethan, claiming it all for himself without an ounce of shame. "No," I said firmly, my voice steady despite the anger boiling beneath the surface. "I'm not signing anything. Harbor Pharmaceuticals belongs to me, and I'll protect it with everything I have." In an instant, his face contorted with rage. Before I could react, he seized my wrists, his grip like iron. "You think you're in control, Lily?" His words were a low, menacing growl. Panic surged through me as he dragged me to the center of the room, pulling a rope from his pocket. He bound my hands tightly, ignoring my protests, and looped the rope through a ceiling hook, leaving me suspended, my feet barely touching the ground. "Ethan, stop!" I cried, my heart racing, but he ignored me. Reaching for a pair of scissors, he began to cut away at my hair, each snip a blow to my spirit, leaving me feeling exposed and humiliated. The locks fell to the floor in a scattered heap, the silence punctuated by the rhythmic, dreadful sound of the scissors. Just when I thought he couldn't go any further, he lifted a bucket filled with ice-cold water, the droplets sliding down the sides as he slowly tilted it over my head. The shock of the icy water sent a jolt through my body, my skin burning from the cold. The humiliation and anger swelled inside me, fueling a fire I hadn't felt before. "You'll sign those papers," he sneered, pressing the pen against my hand. I was too numb, too broken to resist further. Trembling, I let the pen scratch my name across the document, feeling as though each letter was stripping away a piece of my dignity. Finally, satisfied, he released me, leaving me shivering and drenched, my head bare, my spirit shattered. He left the room without a backward glance, the door slamming shut behind him, leaving me alone in my misery. Once Ethan was gone, I slumped to the floor, my whole body racked with shivers from the cold water and the shock of betrayal. I stared at my reflection in a small wall mirror nearby, pale, drenched, and utterly humiliated. My once carefully styled hair was now reduced to ragged patches, and my skin prickled from the icy water. But as I looked at my reflection, something else surfaced in my mind, a fierce, unbreakable resolve. Ethan might have gotten his way for now, but I would not let this stand. Harbor Pharmaceuticals was my father's legacy, a testament to the hard work and principles he instilled in me. Ethan's greed and cruelty would not be the end of it. My first step was to find help, and I knew just who to call. I stumbled to the bathroom, wrapped myself in a towel, and reached for my phone, fingers still shaking as I dialed the number for Rachel Porter, my family's attorney and my father's closest confidant. Rachel had always been a steady presence in my life, someone who believed in me and my vision for the company. Lily? Rachel's voice came through, warm and steady, but concern quickly filled her tone when she heard the tremor in my voice. What happened? Rachel, I need help, I whispered, swallowing hard to keep my voice from cracking. Ethan, he forced me to sign over Harbor Pharmaceuticals. He humiliated me, Rachel. I can't let him get away with this. Rachel's tone turned cold, her professionalism seeping through. Lily, I'm so sorry. We'll make this right. First thing tomorrow morning, meet me at my office. We'll go through every legal avenue to undo this. Harbor Pharmaceuticals is yours, and we're not going to let anyone take it from you. Her reassurance was a balm to my wounded pride, and I felt a glimmer of hope pierce through the darkness. I took a deep breath, feeling the beginnings of a plan form in my mind. I knew it wouldn't be easy, but with Rachel's guidance, I was determined to fight. The next day, I arrived at Rachel's office with a newfound sense of purpose. She ushered me inside, her gaze softening as she took in my disheveled appearance. Lily, she said gently, I can only imagine what you've been through, but know that you're not alone in this. We'll get through it. Rachel wasted no time diving into the details. We reviewed the transfer documents, dissecting every clause Ethan had forced me to sign. Thankfully, she spotted several points of contention that would serve as our grounds for legal action. The fact that he had coerced me under such circumstances was powerful evidence that would work in our favor. We're going to file an injunction to freeze the transfer, Rachel explained, her voice firm, and we'll initiate a full legal investigation into Ethan's actions. This will be a long process, but if we keep our evidence solid, he won't stand a chance. Each step she outlined was like a lifeline, drawing me closer to reclaiming what was rightfully mine. The following days were a whirlwind of meetings, paperwork, and strategy sessions. Rachel was relentless, guiding me through each step as we prepared our case. Her experience and determination were exactly what I needed, and with every document we gathered, every witness statement we compiled, my confidence grew. Ethan might have tried to take Harbor Pharmaceuticals by force, but he'd underestimated the power of a determined woman. Meanwhile, the news about my father's company began to ripple through the industry. Harbor Pharmaceuticals was a renowned name, and rumors of the sudden ownership transfer raised suspicions among colleagues and business partners. I could feel the weight of their judgment, but I refused to let it pull me down. This was a test of my strength, and I was determined to come out of it stronger. One morning, as I sat across from Rachel in her office, she looked at me with a steady gaze. Lily, we're in a good position, she said, pushing a stack of documents toward me. With these testimonies and evidence of Ethan's coercion, the court will likely grant us a reversal, but there's one more thing. I frowned, leaning forward. What is it? I think we need to file a personal suit against Ethan for damages. His actions weren't just unethical. They were criminal. By pursuing this, we can hold him accountable on a deeper level. It would mean longer proceedings, but the impact would be far-reaching. The thought of putting Ethan through a public legal battle made me hesitate. Part of me wanted nothing more than to move on, to rebuild and let Harbor Pharmaceuticals thrive without the weight of his deceit looming over it. But then I remembered the cold bucket of water, the scissors, the ropes, the humiliation he'd forced upon me. This wasn't just about business, it was about reclaiming my dignity. Do it, I said firmly, my resolve hardening. I want him to understand the consequences of what he's done. Rachel nodded, and we set our new plan into motion. Filing both the reversal and a personal suit against Ethan meant we'd be in for a longer, more grueling fight, but I knew it was worth it. As the days turned into weeks, our legal strategy began to take shape. The media caught wind of the case, and stories about the pharma heiress reclaiming her father's legacy made headlines. Despite the unwanted attention, I remained focused, driven by the desire to honor my father's memory. Then, one day, we received a letter from Ethan's lawyer requesting a settlement. Rachel placed the letter on the table with a grim smile. "It seems he's feeling the pressure," she said, a trace of satisfaction in her tone. "But it's up to you. Are you willing to settle?" I shook my head without hesitation. "No, this is about more than just a settlement. I want him held accountable for everything." Rachel's smile widened. "That's exactly what I was hoping you'd say." The trial began, and Rachel presented our case with powerful precision, laying out undeniable evidence of Ethan's abuse and coercion. She included photographs, witness statements, and documentation proving the extent of his manipulation. The courtroom fell silent as I took the stand to give my testimony. With a steady voice, I recounted every humiliating detail of that night: how Ethan had bound me, shaved my head, and poured ice-cold water over me to force my compliance. Each detail hung heavily in the air, the weight of Ethan's cruelty laid bare for all to see. Rachel outlined the specific charges against Ethan: financial coercion, aggravated assault, and emotional abuse. She argued that Ethan's actions were not only cruel but illegal, and demanded that he face the full extent of the law. She requested a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison, along with substantial financial penalties totaling $5 million in damages. Rachel also called for a permanent restraining order, preventing Ethan from contacting me or making any future claims to Harbor Pharmaceuticals. Ethan's defense attempted to portray me as unstable and unfit, but Rachel's evidence and the brutal reality of my testimony left no room for doubt. She countered every argument, emphasizing Ethan's calculated intent and ruthless manipulation. Legal penalties. When the judge finally delivered the verdict, it was a victory. The court ruled in my favor, fully reversing the fraudulent ownership transfer and restoring Harbor Pharmaceuticals to me. Ethan was found guilty of multiple charges, including assault, coercion, and financial exploitation. He received a 5-year prison sentence and was ordered to pay $5 million in punitive damages. Additionally, the court imposed a lifetime restraining order, barring him from any contact with me or attempts to interfere with the company. This verdict was more than a legal win. It was a reaffirmation of my right to protect my life and my father's legacy from anyone who dared to threaten it. As the verdict settled in, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. The victory was more than just about regaining control of Harbor Pharmaceuticals. It was about reclaiming my dignity, my voice, and my future. Ethan, the man who had once manipulated and belittled me, was now stripped of his power, facing the consequences of his own actions. The days that followed were filled with relief and a new sense of purpose. Harbor Pharmaceuticals needed careful management after the turmoil of the past months, and I was ready to dive in fully, rebuilding trust and stability in the company. Rachel and I worked closely to address the changes needed, both legally and operationally, to ensure Harbor Pharmaceuticals would never again be vulnerable to someone like Ethan. But despite the relief, the weight of everything I had endured lingered. Ethan's betrayal was a scar that would take time to heal. Harbor Pharmaceuticals was my father's legacy, a testament to his hard work and dedication, and it deserved to be safeguarded and respected. I was determined to build it into something even greater than my father had envisioned. One morning, as I prepared for a board meeting, I received an unexpected message from one of Harbor's major clients. They had heard about the court's decision and wanted to discuss a potential partnership, expressing their admiration for my strength and resilience. It was a reminder that even in the darkest times, people had noticed my dedication and perseverance. The meeting was a turning point. The client proposed a collaborative project that would expand Harbor Pharmaceuticals into new markets, a venture that promised growth and innovation. I couldn't help but feel a deep sense of gratitude, knowing that the hard work and struggle I'd endured were beginning to pay off in ways I hadn't anticipated. As the weeks went by, Harbor Pharmaceuticals began to flourish under my leadership. We launched new projects, expanded our product lines, and secured partnerships that allowed us to grow in ways I'd only dreamed of before. The employees who had remained loyal through the turbulent times were instrumental in this journey, and I made sure to honor their dedication, knowing that we shared a common vision for the company's future. Then, one afternoon, as I was reviewing our latest project proposals, I heard a knock at my office door. I looked up to see Rachel, her expression calm but serious. "Lily," she said, taking a seat across from me, "I wanted to update you on Ethan's situation." I felt a strange pang of curiosity. While I had tried to put him out of my mind, there was a part of me that wanted closure, to know what had become of the man who had once tried to take everything from me. "He's facing additional charges," Rachel explained. "Given the evidence of his abuse, his attempts to manipulate company assets, and his coercive actions, the court has sentenced him to serve time. He'll be paying for what he's done, both legally and financially." A sense of justice settled within me. Ethan's punishment was fitting for the harm he'd caused, and knowing he would be held accountable brought me a sense of peace. Harbor Pharmaceuticals was safe, my father's legacy was secure, and I had emerged stronger than ever. Thank you for joining me on this powerful journey. Lily's story shows us the strength we can find even in the darkest moments. She didn't let betrayal break her. Instead, she fought back to protect her father's legacy and her dignity. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more inspiring tales of courage and resilience. Let me know in the comments what you think about Lily's victory, and stay tuned for more stories that remind us to stand strong no matter what challenges come our way. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.